Hello, it's Michelle from CNC Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Zealand. And today I'm going to show you how to make this special card. I'm calling it an M fold because it's got 3 sections to it, and if you look at it from the side, it looks like an M for Michelle, of course. But actually, it's not so much a fun fold as a advanced card, because there's 3 different cards in different sizes that you put together to make this. And I got this idea from watching Lisa Curcio's videos. I think she did one in May, and it was actually a very large card, so she had to make an envelope to fit it. So I sized that down to fit the measurements here in New Zealand. So the base of the card is an A5 size card. It will fit a standard C6 envelope. So you start out with A5 piece folded in half, gives you a C6 size, and that fits perfectly inside one of our envelopes here in New Zealand. So if you're in a country watching this where you use metric and you have A4 size paper, this will fit your envelopes. So I will show you step by step how to make this card, and then I'll show you another sample in the end that I made that's more colorful. But this one is using new products from the annual catalog from Stampin' Up!, as well as featuring the Starry Sky color in the cardstock and the ink. So you start out with your little card with your teacups with a little message there, and then you open it the other side, and you've actually got a little tea bag that you can pull out, and then open the final card. You can put a larger message. If you don't like the tea bag option, you can just have the pocket to put a gift card in there, or maybe some money or something like that. But I have the tea bag just because the whole tea theme for this card. So what you need for this, you will need 1 A4 sheet of Starry Sky paper and 1 A4 sheet of thick basic white paper, as well as your Starry Sky ink, so your Versamark ink, and some white embossing powder. And then I'll be using the Stampin' Cut machine to die cut some of the images. So this is from the Cup of Tea bundle, which has the Cup of Tea stamp set with all these lovely images. And then there's also a teacup dice that match up, that cut out some of these images as well as a few other ones. We'll be using that today. So with your cutting to prepare for this, there's my cheat sheet here. So you need cut your A4 piece of Starry Sky in half to give you an A5 piece, and then score it down the center, which is at 10.5 centimeters. So this is 21 centimeters across there, scored at 10.5, and 14.85 centimeters that way. So that folded in half makes your base card. Then from the bottom half of what you have for that A4 piece of Starry Sky, you want to cut a piece of card that is 11 centimeters by 14 centimeters, and then you're going to score that in the center at 7 centimeters, and you're going to fold that. So that's your mini card for the very front. And what's left over, you're going to use that as scrap. I use the dies to cut a teacup, and then I also put some of the adhesive sheet on the back of a section and then cut another teacup, but this is the one that has details. So this die has the detailed sections. So it looks like the stamp that's on the front, but there's a die that cuts that as well. So that's what you cut with your Starry Sky. And then with a sheet of A4 basic white thick cardstock. There's my cheat sheet there. So for the top, from the top section, I cut it at 13 centimeters here, and then 16 centimeters cross, and then score it in the middle at 8 centimeters. And you fold that, That's your middle card. Now with this, when you put it together, you've got to remember the fold for the middle card is on the right, so that's going to be put together this direction. The rest of your cardstock, you end up with a section here that's about 5 centimeters by so this extra piece here is 5 centimeters by 13. It doesn't really matter about that size. That's just what we're going to be stamping the images that we're going to die cut. So the images on the front and a few of the ones on the inside, we'll be using that piece there. So that's what we got here. Then with the bottom half of your A4 piece, you want to cut out a large piece, which is going to be 10 centimeters by 14.5. So we got 10 by 14.5. That's going to be for the inside of your large card. That's where we're going to stamp our sentiment. Then what you have left on the rest of it, you're going to cut two pieces identical. It's going to be 10.5 centimeters by 6.5 centimeters. So those two pieces come out of this part. And those pieces are for the inside and the outside of the small blue card. So just to show you how that comes together. So essentially, if you can see this, I'll put it sideways. So essentially that's your A4 piece all cut up. And then you have a few little bits left over. So that's the A4 piece. And then your leftover pieces you'll use for various things. You want a piece of vellum, which is the same size as your base, as the front of your base card. So that's 10.5 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters. So our vellum is sold in A4 sheets. So this is 1/4 of an A4 sheet, which I believe is a C6 size. And that will be the size to put on the front of your card. And then you just want a little bit of ribbon. So in this case, I've got a 7 centimeter piece of the new Starry Sky glimmer ribbon. I will be listing all the products I used in the description below. So if you want to purchase any of them, you'll be able to find the product codes. And then just a extra tea bag if you want to use it for a tea gift. And we'll be using the Fern embossing folder, 3D embossing folder, which is new to the annual catalog as well. So let's get started now that you know all the bits that we're going to use. So I've already pre-cut a few things, and I'm going to stamp and then cut others. So to make it easier, we're just going with the one color. So we're using the Starry Sky ink, and this is a piece to go inside my large card. I'm just going to stamp the sentiment, take care of yourself. So this would be a good card to give to somebody. It could be a thank you card, as it says, or just to somebody that's not feeling that well. You can use a different sentiment. You could on the front if you want. So we'll put take care of yourself in there. There we go. And then that will be inside the big card. And then one of the small ones inside there, we're going to have Let's Get Together Soon. So in the meantime, they can have a cup of tea while they wait for you guys to have time to get together. It's good to send to somebody that's far away, or if you are in one of the lockdowns or restricted areas for COVID. So that'll go inside that card there. This piece here is going to have the it looks like it's like grass or branches, and I'm just going to stamp that several times randomly just to give a background for the teacups, just to break up that little white card. So I'm just going to put scrap paper there and just going to go around. Doesn't really matter how it comes out because a lot of it's going to be covered by teacups anyway. So I'm just going to try to get a bit more showing out the edges. And just stamp it several times, however you want it to go. Just to give some interest to the outside edge of your card. And if it overlaps, that's okay. So you're not going to see the center of that. That'll be covered by the teacups, so it doesn't really matter. You could even come in maybe and just do a few branches coming in from the edge as well to fill up some of that space. Because my original one, you don't really see a lot of that, so I'm going to try to make this one where you see a bit more of the leafy bits, the branches coming in. There we go. So that's going to be stuck on the front of the card, the smallest card. Okay, so that'll be on the front of that card there. Then I want to stamp the pieces that are going to be die cut. So on this is that scrap piece that was next to the big white one. So on this one here, I want to stamp the striped teacup. So there are stamps that do the striped teacup, and then there's also one that will do that image there. But I like the look of the depth that it gives you when you use die cut. So I'm just going to stamp that with a little bit of room around the edge because I'm going to die cut it. And then I'm going to do the tag. Now I want to end up cutting out 2 of the tags so I can have one for the front and one for the back. Let's see if I can get 2 in here. And then inside one of them, I want it to say, "It's time for tea." There's some really cute sentiments in this set that you can stamp inside, different words in there. We've got "It's time for tea," "Sweet," "I miss you," "I just can't thank you enough," "Enjoy." You could even have "to and from." They all fit inside that little tag. So on the other one, I'm just going to pop the word "enjoy" at an angle. Oh. Now, I missed out I didn't press hard enough, but the ink is still on the stamp. Can you see that? So being a see-through stamp, photopolymer stamp, if I look right over the top, I should be able to, oh, a little bit messy. So there we go. I was able to get the ink off there. I might fix that up later because it is a little bit messy. Okay, and then we want a little flower. Pop that there. And then I also want to have a little, another stamp for the tag. So there's another mini tag with this set. I think I'll just stick that one right there. I should have room. So with this set and with the dies, you get 2 different size tags, and you can use them either as tags, or this to me looks like the tag from the Teabag, and this looks like a mini Teabag, so you could use it that way as well. The other dies you get that I won't be using today are more outline ones, and there's one for a lemon, so you can do the outline of the lemon or the slices of the lemon, and there's even some lovely little hearts, so lots you can do with this. I'll show you some other examples at the end of the video of some cards that I've made with this set. So we've got all that. And then I've got a little bit of room left to cut out another teacup. So we're going to die cut the tags, the flower, and the teacup. And then I'll come back and we'll put things together. But actually, before I do that, the other thing I need to get ready is to heat emboss the other teacup. So I'm going to stamp on this with Versamark with the words "thank you." And because I don't want it to go anywhere I don't like, I'm going to use my embossing buddy. That takes the static electricity away, so the powder will stay put. Now, with this, when you die cut it, it comes out like this. But in order to get a left-handed teacup, I am going to stamp that side. You could do the same with your outline here. You could glue the outline the other way around onto a left-handed teacup as well if you want it to get that left-handed, or rather handle on the left side, not necessarily left-handed. So I'm putting this just at an angle so it'll fit with a bit of Versamark, and then I'm going to put some white embossing powder on there, and I will heat emboss that off screen because it will be rather loud. But I'm just going to grab the handle and just put a bit of the white embossing powder on there. So this is a monochrome card because basically I'm just using one color in white. There might be a few extra colors in the designer series paper. That's what I forgot to mention. The designer series paper I'm using for this is the Sun Prints 12 by 12. Has lots of different interesting designs for the paper for this set, and you can get about 6 of them from one 12 by 12 piece of paper, and I cut those in inches because it is 12 by 12 inch paper. So I did I cut this is 5 inches by 3 inches, and then this comes out to 2 inches by 3 inches. So you end up, this is going to be on the white card, and that'll be on the inside to make your pocket. So you need that as well. So whatever designer series paper you want to work with. So I'm going to go and heat emboss that, and die cut the other pieces, and come back and finish up the card. Okay, so I also went ahead, and this is the Fern embossing folder, and I embossed the Vellum. So look at how nice that is. So it just gives you like overlapping ferns. Some are deeper embossed than others. It's meant to give you that look. So it looks like there's different layers, which will go quite nicely with the paper I've chosen. So we're ready to put everything together. So we will start with the big card in the background. I think I've got some embossing powder on there. Okay. So start with the big card, and I'll just stick the stamp sentiment on the inside. Just pop that down with a bit of glue. And so this is your standard A6 size card that uses an A5 piece of cardstock. And then onto that, we want to put our embossed section. You can go either way. That's the deboss where it's pressed in, and that's embossed where it's pushed out. So it's up to you how you want it to go. Sometimes it gets a little bent. You only need adhesive in the center because that's going to be covered by the other card, so don't put it around the outside. And when you're using vellum, the best thing to use is tape. It sticks better. So I'm just going to put, roughly gauging where this card is going to go, I'm just going to put some strips of tape down the center. Now I'm going to go all the way to the bottom because the card will sit down. It will sit all the way down to the bottom. It's not going to sit just dead center. And just a little extra just to hold it in place. So normally when you're using vellum, you've got to think about how to attach it so it's not seen through the vellum, like glue would be seen, glue dots would be seen, etc. So when you're using vellum, when you stick it down, think about what's going to be on top and choose those spots to put your adhesive. So whatever's on top will cover the adhesive that's holding the vellum down. So I'm just going to peel this up. There we go. And this vellum should fit the entire front side. So just go from one edge. Once you got an edge set up your other edge, and then just press where you had that adhesive. I'm going to press gently to hold that down. So that's your first card done. So the next card is going to be in the center. And this one, we want the fold to be on the right-hand side. Because that way, when it's opened up, it will stand up nicely. So that's where you get that, I call it the M fold. Could be a W. But when it's standing up, it stands up nicely, and that's why all the cards need to go flush to the bottom. So for this one, we have our designer series paper. One side is the lovely shades of blue, which has Starry Sky. What other colors have we got? On your designer series paper packet, it always tells you what colors are in there. So we got Gray Granite, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, and Starry Sky. So this is obviously the Gray Granite on the back that I'm not using. But the other side has those lovely different shades of blue. So we have a hint of the new Starry Sky in this DSP. And so this is sized, so you should have a little border around the edge. And then it's opening that direction. This is our pocket for the inside. Now, we could pop the whole thing up on dimensionals. My suggestion is put some tape at the bottom to hold that more flat. And then you can put some dimensionals up on the edge to hold it open slightly. That way it's easier to pop your packet or gift card in there. So I'm going to put tape just at the bottom and a couple little sections on either side just to hold it down. Just part way. And then I'm going to put mini dimensionals at the top edge. Yep. And that way you have yourself a pocket. So you only want to adhere it down on three sides. You don't want to adhere the top down because you won't have a pocket. So I'm just going to pop up mini dimensional in that corner there, and another one in the corner over here. Give me a bit of width on that as well, so whatever you fit in. Remember, the fold is on the right hand side, so when you open it, you want it to the left. And again, this is sized where you're going to have a little bit of white showing on all edges. So the tape's there, and that gives us that little pocket. The other thing we want to put in here is the flower to wrap the tea bag around. So I'm going to stick the ribbon onto the tea bag. I'm just going to use a bit of double-sided tape, tear and tape. So I'm going to put some tear and tape. That's the little tiny tag I mentioned. So put some tear and tape. You could do a glue dot if you want on there. I'm also going to put tear and tape on the bigger tag. And this is what the ribbon's going to attach to. So one end of the ribbon is going to go in this tag here, and the other ribbon's a bit wonky. I think I want to go the other way. Go in there. And the other one's going to sit in this one. When you're adhering ribbon or string or anything, if you fray the end a bit and the part you stick down, it will hold in place much better. So now I'm going to put a bit more tear and tape on this side. That holds the ribbon in place, but it will also allow me to stick it onto my tea bag. So whatever tea bags you get, whatever ones you want to get. I was trying to find some that would match the color scheme, but I wasn't able to. And then because we opened the pocket up, and slip that in. I might do it after I put the card in. So then you just need the back. So I re-stamped that. I just stamped it on the back and cut it out to make up for my little goof. And again, we're going to stick this down with a bit of tear and tape to put the back on it. It also holds the ribbon in place. And just pop your other piece there. So you could stamp on here, I thank you or I miss you. That would be a good one to have if you want to get together with somebody soon. Now I'm thinking my dimensionals were too close. Yeah, I think my dimensionals were too close to that. So I'm going to change that out for a glue dot. And that way I'll have room for the tea bag. Okay, so I ended up using half a glue dot. I replaced the glue dots with half a glue dot. And the other thing is when you adhere it to the side, you don't want it to go too far in, depending on the size of your tea bag. So I suggest you make sure you put your tear and tape close to the edge, or maybe just a bit of liquid glue. So I'm eyeballing where I want the flower to go. And this one is going to use a mini glue dimensional. So those sides there are half. I cut one of these in half. So I'm going to pop that in the center there, and that will help to hold our little tea bag in place. Pop that there, and then we have the tea bag goes in here, and then we just wrap that around the edge to hang over. Alright, and so this gets stuck onto the card. So this card opens like a normal card, this one opens opposite way. So for this, again, because it's going on vellum, we want to use tear and tape. Liquid glue doesn't work as well on vellum. And I'm just going to put the tape around all four sides, and then I'm going to do my tag method. So if you've watched any of my videos, I'm just going to pull that out for the moment. You would have seen me using the tab method. It just helps you in case you get bad placement. You can peel things up easier if you're using tear and tape. So what you do is you pull up a corner and make a tab with it. So just pull up enough so it's sticking out the edge. That way, if we stick it down and it's not lined up properly, it's only stuck on a little bit, and then we can peel it back up and realign it. Okay, so we want it to go that way. Make sure the opening is the way we want it. So when you put it together, in order to have it to stand up, first of all, you want it centered left and right, but you want the top to go all the way down to the bottom. So we want the bottom of the card to be at the bottom of the big card, and then roughly centered, so we've got the same amount on both sides. That way when it stands up, it will actually stay standing. If we were to center this higher up and there was a gap there, when it opened, you wouldn't be able to stand it up. It would fall over. So once you're happy with the way that looks, you just simply pull the tab to release the rest of the tape. And then you can just firm it down. Now I think I've got that bottom slightly off, but that's okay. And that way you can just firm it down. I'm going to leave this out for now so we can get the front on, and I'll put the tea bag in a minute. So now the front card, we've got our words for the inside stamped up. Now this is going to open like a regular card, so the opening is on the right, the fold is on the left. And just put the sentiment on the inside, like that. And then we can put this stamped piece on the top. And it doesn't really matter which way around this goes, because you could decide which way looks more of an up or down, but I just stamped everything randomly. Now we're going to put the card together. So we've got teacup there, teacup here, and then the final teacup. Now I've already die cut this piece, and I did it with the adhesive sheet on the back, so that makes it much easier, because when you have really small pieces to glue, if you're doing liquid glue, it can get quite messy, and you can't really do the tear and tape because it's not small enough. So you just need to find an edge to peel off the paper. Now I didn't poke everything out, because quite often when you peel the paper off like that, all the extra bits come out, so there's no point in poking it all out to start with. If you have any pieces that did not come out easily, so see there's a few there that did not come out easily, you can go ahead and poke them out. But another tip is to use your pick-a tool, spiky end of your pick-a tool, and or the tip of your scissors. And so you see there's a few pieces that haven't come out. Well, they're sticky on the back. The backing came off. So just put on your paper and push on the pieces that you want to come out, and they will stick on the paper. And so I'm not pushing down. So see, they're coming off. They're sticking on the paper. I'm not pushing down on the outline. I'm just pushing down on the bits that I want to come out. So just push and pull up, and it's just going to make that piece that I don't want, that has adhesive on it, stick to the paper. And now it's sticking to me. There you go. I even got one stuck on my finger, so you can see that the adhesive sheets are really good, really sticky. So this is now going to, you just line up one edge, and it should fit perfectly as long as you haven't stretched it. So start with your outline, and once you have your outline, just press it down. You can even use a block to help push things in place. Okay, so now we're going to layer these up. The best way to do it is to start at the top and work your way down. I like to just check on it first to see. You could go straight up and down if you want to have them that way, but I think the bottom one's straight and then the others maybe at an angle. But starting at the top is the easiest way to layer it. So I'm going to glue this one down. And you can use dimensionals if you want to give it a bit of height, or glue it straight down. It's up to you. So I'm just going to glue that one down. I think that angle looked good. And then we'll pop that one. Bit of glue on there too. Add an angle. angle that makes it look like the cup's actually in there. And this one here, I'm going to turn that slightly. Let's see if I can adjust that. The liquid glue, it gives you a bit of wiggle room, so I'm just going to wiggle that over a little bit so this one can sit more straight at the bottom. So I'm just going to glue this down as well. Right there at the bottom, holding all the other wobbly cups in place. And then this card goes on there. Again, it needs to be all the way down the bottom to make sure that the card will stand up properly. So we'll do my tab effect to make sure I've got it where I want it to be. And that's it. So you could size this any way you want. I sized it down for our metric sizes here in New Zealand, as well as to fit the teacups that I decided to use and the tea bag. So you can make it larger or smaller if you want. And as I said, I saw it on Lisa Curcio's video. She's an American demonstrator. It has a lot of wonderful videos on YouTube. And so her original card, I think it's a baby card, is quite large. And so she had to make an envelope to fit. So I'm going to make sure I got the ends coming down and then just covering the outside coming up. So you just see a bit of that paper peeking through. So even though the paper does have some blue colors that are not starry sky, because we only see a little bit of it, it's quite easy to be used in here. So we'll just press that down. Now we can open that up and put our little tea bag in there with our little wraparound tag. And that's it. I guess you could add some bling to it if you want. So we've got thank you. Let's get together soon. It's time for tea. Enjoy. And take care of yourself. All using products from the new Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. Now the difference here, this one I did much more stamping in the background. That one I have it just peeking out. I don't know which is your favorite. You can let me know in the comments. If you want to purchase any of the products, contact your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you are in New Zealand and don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you can contact me at my website, michellekritchley.stampinup.net. I also have a blog there. So this was my original card using the designer series paper that comes with the tea set. And so I used the leaf on there, and it's much more colorful. I didn't do the DSP here. I did that pocket originally. And as you can see, this card is a bit larger. The center cards are a bit larger. As well as I used the little dies for the hearts. So the base of the card was the same, but the center ones were slightly larger. I sized this one down so I could get the most use out of an A4 piece of paper. And some other designs I've made with this tea boutique bundle, I'll show you just now. So this was my original design there, and this one opens this way, and I just put the tea bag there. And this is what I was talking about, where that's like the tag for the tea, and this is the actual tea bag. So that I have popping out there. So that was the original idea for this card. Other cards I've made with the designer series paper from the set is Take Care of Yourself. And then there's a tea bag here that can pull out from the side. And then I did this little one here with some of the glimmer paper. These are all the in colors. And then you can pull out a little tag from there. and that's using the Designer Series paper. And this one here was a recreation of a card I've done in the past. I believe I might have a video showing how to do this style of card. And you pull it open there. Let's get together soon. And then that's using the same leaf stamp there in a different way, and the Tea Boutique paper. So I hope you've enjoyed those. Please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see some more inspiring videos. And I do have another video showing how to make this card. So if you're interested in this set, I have a video showing how to make this card. And I will be doing more videos soon using this set because I've got so many fabulous ideas on how to use it. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day. Bye.